screen. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. So right now, let's just officially kick off the project competitions. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, I think we have all the members supposed to be joining us. Let me share that again. Yeah, so it's all really a pleasure to have Kali here to give us an introduction about the project competitions. And then this project for sure has been a very exciting one. So maybe let's just first welcome Kali to give a brief introduction about herself, and then to give us a brief introduction about the project.
Well, someone said they can't hear you.
Oh, really? Can you hear me?
I can.
Strange. Okay.
Oh, someone said they could.
Okay. I can hear. Okay. I can as well. I say might be put on your hand. Okay, so just assuming it's working.
Okay.
So maybe Kali, yeah, just go ahead.
Hi, my name is Callie. I am the program coordinator for Food4Kids. I've been here just over 2 years. My main responsibility is connecting with the schools to see what children are in need, and I don't making the menus, getting the food, contacting suppliers, all that fun stuff for food. We do not choose the children in the program. The schools choose the children that are in the program. The schools are with the kids 6-7 hours a day, so they know who needs help. They can see who needs help. We don't have too much interaction with the kids. I speak with the parents, but really have no interaction with the children. It's not based on, we don't ask for economic, what they're making. It's strictly what the teachers see, and lack of lunches, tired children, kids missing school, grumpy kids for no reason. You can see when a child's hungry. It's different behavior than just lack of sleep. And there could be many reasons the kids need this. Single parent, the working, I'm going to say working poor, ill parents, ill as in they could have cancer, they could be depressed, there could be drug use. Grandparents are raising kids, their grandchildren, and having a tough time. So there's many reasons kids are in the program. There's so much information I can give you. I don't know how long you want me to talk for. Most of our food, sorry?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, maybe you can give a bit more information about what kind of food are available to kids.
Yeah. So not much of our food is donated. Money is donated. Monetary donations work best because we have 860 children. So if people donate food, we need 860 items. So monetary donations are best, and then I can go out and buy the food. And our focus is really on protein, getting protein in these children. Fresh produce, we provide 4 to 5 fresh produce every single weekend when there is school, and whole grains. Those are our main focuses. And a bag goes out to the schools every single Friday, and they take that home, and they will have 6 meals out of that bag. So when they go to school on Monday, they have full bellies and they're ready for learning for the week. The reason we do a weekend food program is because the schools often have breakfast programs and snack programs, so the kids can get food during the week. It's the weekends that kids go home to little to no food. So yes, that's our focus on the food. And produce is so important to us because that's a luxury item in a lot of households. They're not going to be spending their money on apples or grapes or red peppers. So that's why putting those items in bags are so important to us, because that's a luxury item. and that's almost like a treat to kids. We've had kids get excited over cucumbers. So yes. So we
And also,
follow the Canada Food Guide as best we can. It's kind of hard because none of the food can be refrigerated. All has to be pre-packaged, or like a loose apple or a loose potato or a loose pepper.
okay. So for protein, so basically, I think you're looking for proteins and you're looking for produce to keep the kids have a happy, well, weekends, right? So I think it's pretty,
Yes.
pretty crucial for the kids to have, well, have good meals, even out of school. So I'm wondering, so besides the proteins, what are some other like nutritions you might be looking for? Like so maybe
Um,
vitamins, I'm just keep on making things up.
it's always a challenge to keep low sodium, especially in protein, canned protein items. So we like to keep low sodium. We also don't want to have, oh gosh, why am I blanking? High sugars. Now we do give the kids cookies and treat items because they're kids and they deserve to have treats. So, if they get a chocolate cookie, that's not a problem. But we don't like high fructose corn syrup um, in food because that's just not. They're probably getting enough junk during the week that we try to make up for that on the weekends and keep it as healthy as we possibly can.
Okay. I'm sure like, well, I know we have a dedicated Q&A section, but I'm wondering if students have any questions at this stage, so feel free to ask questions if you want to. I can leave it to the end.
Pardon?
Well, I'm asking the students if they have any
Okay,
questions
okay,
at this
perfect.
stage. Oh, Catherine, yeah, you can go ahead.
We do give them milk. There is a milk product that the way it's been pasteurized, it can stay unrefrigerated for 2 months, and there's no chemicals, there's nothing in it. So again, our focus is fresh produce, proteins, grains, and calcium, and we want low sodium, which is a tricky one. Yes, so do we need to consider allergies? So we do have about 60 children with allergies, but we just make special bags for allergies. So I buy gluten-free items for some of the kids. I purposely buy nut-free snacks for some of the kids. It's not a main focus. Allergies is not a main focus. That's food that's bought separately. We also feed children from 1 to 3. So we call them baby bags. So that's not really a concern either. There's about 132 children that fall under the baby and allergy guidelines. So we kind of shop for some of those kids separately. And I'm sorry, I didn't see I'm just going to look at the last question.
Yeah, I think the last question is here, freshly produced.
Okay, so yeah, see, we never do fresh protein. It's always canned. Now, fresh produce, the day we receive it, it goes out the next day. So if I'm getting an apple or bananas or even tomatoes, they go out the next day. So it's never a problem. Even like a little thing of raspberries or strawberries, it can stay unrefrigerated for a day and it goes out. How do you cope with so yeah, refrigeration is just not an option. With 860 kids, it would be logistically impossible to deliver refrigerated items to them because it goes to the school. Each child receives a bag that has 16 to 20 items in it. If it's a long weekend, it might be 22 items. And that bag gets heavy. It definitely gets heavy. But I don't hear too many complaints about it from the school because the kids are happy to have food. So that food goes home. Every now and then I hear about it being eaten right away, but they're supposed to wait till they get home. If they're hungry, they're hungry and they need to eat it. But I have never received a phone call about having something go bad in their bag because the produce wasn't refrigerated. Same with the bread. They get fresh bread every week too, and that's we've never had a problem with that. I'm sure there's an exception, but I've yet to hear.
Okay. Well, I think these are very good questions. I feel the students are pretty excited about the project. Oh.
Okay. If you had unlimited funds, what kind of tech tools? How do you think that tool would be working? I'm just trying to find a general theme to build around. Oh gosh, you're asking the wrong person about tech tools.
Well, I mean, it's a tech. Well, our project competition is technology oriented,
Yes.
right? So it's hoping
Yes.
to find a
Yes.
solution that.
You know, we started so small that we're only 4.5 years old, and tech is really just starting to play a role for us. We you know, it was small enough that I was just using Excel and getting things done, but it's starting to become an issue. List of food candidates. Yes, there is a list of food candidates. There's menus. There's been menus provided. So
Yes.
in the past, available source food, which supermarket? So Freshco, there's a Freshco at University and Bridgeport that is amazing to us. They don't give us discounts. Grocery stores have such a small, they don't make a lot of money, so we don't really get discounts from grocery stores. But you know, it's very hard to go into a store and say, I need 800 of these items. So they are grocery stores that I work with are great with that. Now, right now with COVID, like we ordered 500 cans of turkey and we couldn't get it. So sometimes we have, with COVID, it's been causing supply issues. There's another grocery store called Amar Halal. They give us a 10% discount, which is amazing. We do a little shopping from Costco. There's just no way around it. We can't always work with little stores. We have to. And also there's a place in Guelph called Crown Dairy that delivers to us. We don't cook or make any food ourselves. All the vegetables goes out raw. Everything goes out raw. We do have a donation. You're going to see on the menu, it says Osary breakfast rounds or Osary Frina buns. Osary Bakery, they are down in, I think, Markham or something. They donate every single week. They donate $80,000 worth of bread products to us every week. So we try to do food that if a 7-year-old has to prepare it themselves, they can prepare it themselves. Now that might be harder, making rice or some noodles, but if a child is living in that sort of situation where they have to prepare their own food, it's sad and it's terrible, but we hope there's someone there to help them. We know that that's not like that in all homes, but we try to make it something that they can prepare themselves. What are the budgets? $10 a bag. And when you do see the menus, it's pretty incredible that what we can do for $10. I shop sales like crazy. If I see tuna fish that's on sale, and we do no name foods. We don't want the families to think, sometimes no name foods have a stigma, and we don't want anyone to think that they don't deserve to have a good quality food. Not that no name is a bad quality. There's great no name foods out there, but we've just decided that we're not going to do that. And we want the kids to feel like everyone else. We want them to feel like all the kids at the school and feel equal. And so it's $10, and I shop in advance. I shop 3-4 weeks in advance for menus because that's when I can get my items on sale. But right now it's actually very challenging. You're just not seeing sales. Food has gone up 15% in the last year and a half. I'm worried about September, how I'm going to stay on budget. No, our current food bags do not have nutritional contents on the bag. No. All the food labels are left on them, but no, we do not do that. Do you provide food bags for weekends. I'm wondering how you balance to keep the. Is there a limit for donation time? So the produce is delivered on a Thursday in the morning. It goes out on Friday. So the reason it doesn't go out the same day is everything has to get set up. In the beginning of the video, you saw bins of bananas and I think there was cucumbers. Volunteers need to come in and break apart those bananas and count how many go. We have 2 lines that get set up. In the video, there's people in Amazon shirts counting and going down the lines. Each bag is being, a food item is put, one of each item is put in the bag, and the bag gets bagged up, it goes into a bin, and then it goes out the next morning and gets delivered to the schools. How do you keep, how do you keep a balance? The time the food keeps, again, I haven't had a problem with fruits and vegetables going bad. I have yet to hear that. I haven't had anyone, is there a limit for donation time? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Children's average age. So we feed children from 1 to 14. I can't say there's an average age. Kids are in school from ages of from 4 to 14. The 1 through 3-year-olds, I think we have about 80, 1 through 3. Every single sibling in the home from 1 to 14 receives a bag, because we don't want children to go home and feel they have to fight with a sibling to eat, because we heard that happen and we thought, okay, that's it, they need to take bags home so children know this is theirs. And those kids, we often hear that kids come home and they are so happy to put that bag on the table, and they're proud that they can help and bring that food home and show their parent. Yes, so we essentially have 3 packs. We have, for the different ages and allergy bags, we have 2 ladies that pack those bags. There's 100 and I believe it's 132 baby bags and allergy bags, and there's 2 ladies that do that. And then there's a halal line and then a non-restrictive line, meaning children with no dietary restrictions. The halal line, oh gosh, about 350 bags are done. I do some quick math. With the school lockdown, we have not been packing any bags. And maybe about close to 400 non-restrictive bags are done. So yeah, we stop at 14. After 15, I know it sounds terrible. We hope if there's an issue in the home that maybe a child can get a job. I know that's tough, but we only have so much money. Our year end is in June, and then our new fiscal year starts in July, and our food budget for next year is going to be $900,000. And that will be feeding 1,000 kids every weekend and then on the breaks. So that's why we have to limit. It's budgetary reasons. So here you can see some of the menus. I pulled some menus, some pre-COVID menus. We did things a little bit different in COVID's, pre-COVID. Like you can see on here, mini carrots in the first menu, 1 cup. We don't do that now because you need to be a lot of group of people together. So we're hoping when COVID's over, we can do stuff like that. We used to get bushels of green beans and have people separate those and bag up green beans, but people have to work closely together. Same with broccoli. We used to cut up heads of broccoli and bag that. And now we can't do that. If you look on the first menu, it says goldfish. So we used to buy bulk goldfish crackers and bag them because we could give the kids more than the single serving, and it was a cost savings to us. But now with COVID, we don't want a whole bunch of people touching all this food. So we buy prepackaged, and then it costs more. So when COVID's over someday, we will be going back to buying more bulk foods and bagging them. Volunteers really love being here, if I can, without sounding pompous, they love being here and helping the kids and bagging the food. So finding volunteers is never an issue, finding people to do that. So bulk foods is great. Cereal, that's the only way we do cereal. The two items that we've continued to bag over COVID has been cereal and breads. Buying prepackaged bread and prepackaged cereal, the quality isn't good and it's tiny little amounts, and we want to give children proper amounts and quality food. So this menu, the blue is what the halal children were getting that week, and then the orange were for the unrestricted diet, and then where the green, all the children received those items. What else? I rarely give juice anymore. I would rather give a juice isn't off the menu, but I'd rather give a produce instead. Like there's on the third menu, it says Kirkland Trail Mix. That's from Costco. We buy that. We used to buy it in bulk and bag it. Now we buy it individually. Anything that says like second menu Kirkland canned chicken, that canned chicken has an amazing amount of protein in it, and it's good quality, and it's good food. But as you can see, it gets to be repetitive. Finding canned food is a challenge. The second menu has alfaghetti on it. That's not something I do a lot, because it's not a lot of protein. I do a lot of tuna, which probably isn't great, but again, it's hard. It's hard finding. A lot of chickpeas, a lot of hummus for the halal kids. Something called Zwan. It's I don't know. It's in the second menu at the top. Zwan it's a chicken product, and it's very processed. It's like sticking a hot dog in a can. So we're not thrilled about it, but it's the best we can do under the circumstances right now. Wow Butter. If you look at the last one, Wow Butter is a little serving of soy peanut butter, but it's peanut free. The schools will not allow peanut butter in there. We do send nuts and items, but peanut butter, no. So that's what Wow Butter is, if you're wondering what that is. Sometimes you do protein bars if I can get them on sale or donated, but I don't count that as a main protein. I count that as a snack. I do applesauce every single week. We always do oatmeal and cereal. So yes, the menu changes on what you can get in a particular week. Yes. What I can find on sale is everything goes on sale eventually. And looking for child friendly. You'll see on there Italian wedding soup on the first menu. That is really popular with the kids. The chunky soups aren't as popular with the kids. I do have on the last menu condensed vegetable soup. Again, it's good. Kids like it. The protein isn't the best. So yes, we shop what's on sale, and that does dictate the menu, except for produce. Well, produce is on sale, but if you look, apples, we have apple, peaches, pepper, and mini carrots. I mean, peaches, that's a luxury food for some children. So to have a peach, they get really excited about that. I know that sounds funny to get excited about a peach, but kiwis, when kids get kiwis, I mean, some of them don't know how to eat them. Okay, do you expect a database for possible food items? We don't really have a database for our food items with the nutrition on it. Yeah, we don't have that. So that would be great if you could do that. Yes, if you want to create a possible menu, that would be, we're game for that too. We've never, it's just kind of in our head. When I know I'm having a food with higher sodium content, I will make sure I'm not doing like an instant noodle that week. We really don't do instant noodles all that often. For the halal kids, if we give them Zwan in the second menu, you see Zwan and instant noodles. A lot of families eat those together. So yeah, a database with that stuff would be wonderful.
Yeah, and Kali, I'm thinking, right, so you talk about all these events are interrelated, so such that, okay, the food that are delivered last week will have an impact on the food this week. So I guess for students, they need to keep track of the foods being delivered, right? Keep track of at least maybe the protein level and then the sodium level, right? So that you know, okay, you might, and set a warning kind of alert so that if you reaches maybe 20% of sodium intakes for the month, I'm not sure, maybe you will consider buying less sodium,
Yes,
something like that.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, because I think one question I have is, we know we're going to track all the nutrition contents, but what kind of nutrition? Like you mentioned, the protein is very, very important, right?
Yes.
But maybe sodium as well. So, but what other contents are you looking for? Maybe maybe calcium, all these nutrition stuff.
Yes. Sugar, we don't want. Now, I'm not going to worry about natural sugars in the fruits and vegetables, but sugars, I try to stay away from high sugar cereals. So sodium, protein, sugar. Yeah, calcium is actually a great idea.
Because I think it's good for their bones, right? So that
Yeah,
stronger.
exactly.
And the vitamins. I'm just thinking because they need to take vitamin B, A, B, whatever C's, right? Because they're especially they are growing, they need this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that these are all kind of legit nutrition you want to track, I think, but it's up to students to come up with some useful, right? But at least be a minimum, I think we need we need to track off the proteins and then the calcium and then the sugars and then the sodiums. But
I just want
to
say, if you look at the last menu really quick, there was a Campbell's condensed soup on there, which doesn't have a lot of protein, but I put in a protein bar, like a kid-friendly protein bar. So that helped make up protein. It may not have been in a breakfast and a lunch or dinner form, but they had another form of protein. So protein doesn't always have to be in a canned form. There's other ways. Same with the wild butter. There's a lot of protein in that. So think of alternative proteins. If possible, if you guys can come up with some, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. For packaged food or canned food, the nutrition may be easier to track or to tabulate because the nutrition levels are being recorded on the package, right? But yeah, but others you might do some research online to find out the contents. Maybe for example, per apple, maybe weight is something like that. I'm just
So yeah, we're not going to worry about that in produce because we're gonna, like, broccoli has a lot of calcium, but that's the produce part. I'm not going to worry about that. And keep in mind that that a can of soup may have 2 servings in it. So it's the sodium levels or the protein levels are for how many servings are in that can.
Okay.
And it'll say, the can will say how many servings are in it. On the back, it'll say, along with the list of everything.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Catherine has a legit point. I mean, she mentioned about the calculator, right? So essentially, you're solving a optimization problem, right? So you have a target protein level to solve for. You have all these constraints like the budget constraint and then the variation of the food items. I'm happy to see students come up with the mathematical models that actually can solve for the linear optimization.
Yes, because if kids are getting a can of tuna, they're not eating that once. They're probably eating that twice over the weekend.
Right. Yes. So we can make it as complicated as possible, something like that. And then I remember like one student have a question. So do we give the same meal? Say for example, there's the age 5 and the age 10.
Yes, they get the same.
Same bag.
They do get the same. The same. Everyone from 4 to 14 gets the same food. Now that 4-year-old may not eat as much as a 14-year-old, but a lot of these children, a lot of them are siblings. So if that 14-year-old will probably eat some of the food that came from the 4-year-old.
Okay.
So,
oh, right. Yeah, I understand.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because you give each kid in that family kind of a pack,
correct,
right? Yeah. Okay.
correct. And like a child that's 3 and under, I wouldn't give them like trail mix. They wouldn't receive trail mix, something that's a choking hazard, anything that might be too chewy or gummy in their teeth. I wouldn't give that to the babies. So when I make a menu, I'm not thinking about the babies. I make the menu and then go through and take out any item that would not be suitable for a baby. Now, a baby means 1 to 3. We just call them baby bags.
Yeah,
And we might add in an extra something to it, but it's not our main focus.
yeah,
That's
like
how
when
that makes sense.
yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, and that's remember when I first reached out to well the executive directors at the organizations. I was thinking that well because each kid might have their own preference, right? But I know like it will be too much work for sure with the current capacity to and
Yes,
do some
yes.
differentiation. Yeah, but I mean,
So when I talk to parents, because whenever a parent calls me, which is not a lot, but when I get a parent on the phone, and if they have time, I ask them questions. We're not allowed to send out a lot of information because the school board has to approve everything we send out, and that takes 3 months process. So
oh,
when
okay.
I get people on the phone, I ask them questions. And like oftentimes, or we send out over the summer, we'll do a quick poll, have our drivers, when they go to their homes, ask a few questions. And it's verbal, so it's okay. A lot of kids don't like the chunky soups. That's how I know that. I know a lot of our halal families don't like broccoli. It's just something it's just not in their diets. Culturally, they weren't around it. It does get back to me. The teachers sometimes tell me, like we have some kids, certain cultures like applesauce. It's just, they just don't know what it is. You know, it's new to them. They just don't like it. And we do put those kids that have things that they just don't like and will not eat, and the family feels it's a waste they will let us know. We put them in a specialty pack, and then those items aren't put in there. Like if a child will not eat tuna fish, the parents let us know, and they don't get tuna fish, and then a substitute item is put in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very
Yeah, so we do our best. Oh, and parents tell me, my child doesn't eat it, but I eat it. And even though it's for the children, if the children aren't eating something, but the parents are, then we feel that frees up some money to buy food for the kids. That's how we look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Mark has another question.
Oh.
Well, yeah, basically she's, can we give 1 canned food to meet 2 meals protein requirement per kid?
Yes, yes. So, I mean, a can of tuna, really, you can make more than 2 sandwiches out of a can of tuna, but that's how we treat it. Every child usually has 2 cans of food in their bag. So a can of tuna fish, we figure that could be 2 dinners. A can of soup can be 2 lunches. That a can of chicken, oh my gosh, that can feed a whole family, a family of 4, I should say. So yes, that's 1 can is 2 meals.
Yeah, so in the end, you want to deliver 6 meals per kid, right?
Yeah. So we look at breakfast, you have a fruit, cereal, and oatmeal. Lunches and dinner will be from the canned foods, and then some of the vegetables. And sometimes we do rice, noodles, English muffins. I don't think I have any in here. Oh, Frina buns, which are great for making sandwiches with. I mean, they're not huge meals like you would get at home, home cooking. Well, a lot of you are students, so maybe aren't eating what you normally eat at home. These aren't meals that we're used to when we're sitting down with our families. They're definitely a smaller meal, but I hear so much gratitude for families receiving these bags. Yes, it's not perfect, but it is extremely helpful.
Oh yeah, so further have just have another thought.
Yeah.
You mentioned about like the budget is definitely constrained to the operation, right?
Yeah.
So for the database, do you want students also maybe provide the optional feature to track of the budget spending, something like that? For example, okay, if the cost certain item has kind of
Yeah.
it's like 20% from last year, but now this year it's like 30%. I mean, understand like
Oh, I guess I understand what you're saying. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
So
I don't know if I'll see tuna go on sale for $1. I haven't seen that in the last 4 months, and honestly, I don't know if we're gonna see that again.
yeah. Yeah, because I feel like part of your mission, you need donations, right? So if it's better for you to demonstrate like how you spend your money, right? And see to tell others,
Yeah.
okay, the food costs have really gone up significantly. Well, I mean, you just need to be aggregate statistics, but others will buy the concept and maybe you support the organization more, right? I feel
Yes.
it just can help you,
Yes.
yeah, doing some internal financial reporting or management accounting as well. I guess just trying to.
Our budget is in the process of being worked on, and I spoke with my director the other day about, do we officially say that the bags cost $11.50 because food's gone up 15%. So that may be coming out. So if you're finding $10 is just too hard to work with, $11.50 is another goal you can aim for. I see, I have weeks that I can do this in. It's going to sound very basic what I do, but I go onto the Flip app on my computer,
Use that as
FLIPP.
well. Yeah, use
Yep.
that.
And I go through and I look for sales. And if something isn't on sale at a grocery store, I'll that I want, because we do have favorite grocery stores that are really good to us. I'll ask them, hey, do you know, is this item going to be on sale at your grocery store in the next 2 weeks? And oftentimes they'll tell me, so I'll hold off and I'll get it there, because we want to support who supports us. We want to give our business to grocery stores that support us back. That's the community. We're completely community donations. We get a few grants from the government, not much. So we want to give support back to the people who support us in our community.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense. Yeah, as well as that community being more involved, and then they could grow better together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think yeah. So I guess that's all the questions students may have. So
Okay.
next move on just to the competition schedule. And thank you very much, Patty, for so much about the organization and so much about the project. So it's just a few some logistics in perspective. And there will be 2 rounds of competitions. So for the first round, we'll just be requiring the students to submit their video presentations to Kadi and I, by 9 p.m. on June 12th. So you have about a month to work on this. So and then it's about 10 minutes. So ideally, we'll be upload that to YouTube and send us the links so we can actually, it's easier for us to watch them, I guess. And then the final presentation will take place on 6 to 8 p.m. on June 23rd. And then I'll send out the Zoom invitation to the finals teams. We're expecting maybe 3 to 4 teams will appear in the finals, and then each of the teams will give 15 minutes to present their ideas. And then we're also looking for a functional solution this time. So hopefully we'll deliver something functional to Kali and I, so that they can, I think they really want to utilize your tools and then use it to producing some meaningful information for them to make decisions and then to kind of recommending some menus, right?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So any question about the competition schedule? Yes, for sure. For the preliminary video presentations, we expect you to demo your solution. So it might not be in kind of a complete working solution, but just demo the solutions, and I will definitely provide some feedbacks to the finalist teams or to improve, and then hopefully by the time you deliver your final presentation, and the solution will be mostly working. Yes, and next, move on to our Q&A. I know Kylie has answered a lot of questions, so let me just stop sharing, I think. Did I unmute? Yeah, if you have any questions, just speak up. I know we just talk to each other through the chat windows, but yeah, if you want to speak up, and then that would be great, yeah, to hear your voice and as well.
I'll just let everyone know that we right now are doing grocery cards with the lockdown. Food supply, the numbers we need is very hard to get, and with schools closed, there is no choice but grocery cards. So they get mailed out to the families, and it's not ideal because we at Food4Kids can make our dollar stretch a lot more. And when families receive a $40 grocery card, they're not going to go and buy produce. They might buy some, but yeah, it's not ideal, but it's really our only option right now. So in the summer, we're really hoping that we can get back to food. We're going to have delivery, probably about 50 routes over the summer. If anyone wants to volunteer and drive and deliver food over the summer, you need a car and a passenger. We like 2 people to go, and you would deliver to 6 to 8 homes whether it's once a week. We deliver 3 times a week to 2 different homes. So if anyone is interested in doing that, you can let me know. And it's a real eye-opener, some of our neighborhoods. It's very shocking sometimes what you see. Everyone is always so grateful and happy to receive their food. It feels wonderful, but sometimes it's hard sometimes seeing conditions that children are living in. What else can I tell you? Yeah, volunteers make this place go round. We only have 3 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees. So over the summer, we are probably going to have about 120 volunteers in every week. Not necessarily in our building, but in their cars and coming in and helping organize and getting the food and grocery cards out. And we let the families choose what grocery card they would like, because what store they want. We don't do Walmart, but we do, because some families have to walk to the grocery store, they don't have cars, or they need to take the bus. So we let them pick which one is the most convenient for them. Because we want to help, not hinder.
Yeah, I was wondering, so I understand, like, the students, you don't actually actively manage the students, but do you want some of the tools so that you can kind of keep track of the students, like information, not information, but maybe what they like, what they don't really like, so that you can talk to them some, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we were talking about doing, because not all of our families, about 40% of our families, English is not their first language. And so sometimes communication can be difficult. So we were thinking, how can we find out what they like? And we thought about leaving them in the summer with the envelope with pictures of food, and they can put the food in a like envelope and a dislike envelope, and then return that to us. Or if you have any ideas how, with language barriers, if how we can get opinion on it. And we thought about doing whatever we were giving that week out in food using those images. Because it's not a letter going out, so therefore the school board doesn't have to approve it. It's an image, an image of food. And we thought, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, definitely maybe one suggestion I might have was just really just finding the volunteers who can speak the language of the student, right? Yes. So I think that's all information students might be encouraged to collect, right? For example, they can create some dummy fields that they can say, okay, that's student number 1, okay, that's the language they spoke. So in the end, once you have a complete picture, then you kind of know what kind of volunteer you'll be looking for, and then you can be people who can speak both languages, and then they can help you. I feel like that way can
Yes. Well, I'll be very honest. We would like to get volunteers. We are not very multicultural. And we would like to have volunteers from all ethnicities, all backgrounds, and that's not really happening right now. And it kind of makes us sad. We would like to find volunteers that spoke other languages, and I don't know, we're having the recruitment just doesn't go in that direction, and we don't know why that is. Now, is it because a lot of these families are already struggling, they're newer Canadians, they don't have time, there's other issues going on, and they don't have time to volunteer. Sometimes volunteering is a luxury. So that is a challenge. We would like our organization to represent who we're serving in the community, and right now it doesn't. That's a huge topic, maybe for another time, but
for another competition, yes. And Mark has a comment. No, Mark, yeah, you can speak up. I can't unmute you. I don't know the reason you can.
I know in the real world the program should be very complicated, but I'm wondering what's the basic requirement from us? I mean, I know you need to balance your nutrition bag, and do you want to trace all the bag? For example, comparing with your, it seems you don't have you don't have the too much inventory. So actually, I'm not sure what's the. For example, I know that for a real app you need many more details, but what's the basic one? I mean, the start point. What do you want from us?
Well, if you want to use the menus that are there now as a starting point and pulling protein and sodium off of that, you'll notice on the menus, the brand of the food is on there, so that every single brand name is on there, so you can pull exactly those items and break it down from there, except for produce. We don't worry about produce.
So we just provide calculate the whole different category of the nutrition and meet your requirement.
Yeah. Now we don't really have a set requirement. This is really for our own knowledge, so we can use this information going forward and seeing if we're lacking. Are we lacking in protein? Oh my gosh, do we have way too much sodium? What changes do we need to make with this information, having this information?
Yeah, so essentially, to me, it sounds like you need to have a backend with the nutrition levels of all the menu items, and then you have to have a front end which does the calculation part. So, say Cardi can enter, say, okay, today I purchased 100 bags of 100 cans of tunas. So how much nutrition does this package have offer, right? For example, it might provide 100 grams of, I'm not sure, let me make things up, 100 grams of protein and 10 grams of sodium. Then these statistics can need to be tracked against a total target, right? For example, okay, I understand for this month, our target is to deliver kits, maybe I'm not sure, like maybe 200 maybe grams of protein. I'm doing that with nutrition, but the 200 grams, that you know, okay, then Carly knows, okay, maybe she only have 100 to match, and then something like that. Yeah, Mark, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Any other questions or no? Okay, I guess students are not quite, but I think that's all. That's pretty much we have for tonight. And But and thank you very much, Carly. And then yeah, you have already left us your email, so I think
Yes.
students will feel free to. But one more for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see, just try on mute.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just wondering, I know you're not really going to technical, but just wondering how are you seeing yourself using the tools? Is that something you want to be integrating to the current website that you already have, or is it something you're just open to basically open up something and working with it?
I honestly thought of just using it internally, but
Okay.
putting that information on our website that we track that information, I think our donors would really benefit from seeing that. Our funders would, my guess is they would feel good that knowing that we track that for the kids. Because we always talk about high protein, high protein, high protein. That's our goal, but canned protein has a sodium level to it that maybe protein, maybe we're detrimenting, maybe it's detrimental to the kids. That's what we had not looked into. If doing high protein has a sodium content that's so high, that's not good for the children. So yeah, we could definitely put that on our website, put those information on our website for sure.
Right. So you mentioned about open those content information to the public, meaning that now on the website Wednesday, I'm also wondering on the bag itself, do you usually put any labels, say what kind of foods is on that particular label, like on that particular bag?
No, only on allergy bags. Only on allergy bags. None of the kids' names are on the bag for privacy reason.
For sure.
The allergies will say the school name and what the allergy is, and then the schools have a spreadsheet with that information, so they can match that up.
Sorry, just last question. I think probably more, but you mentioned about purchasing on a weekly basis, meaning are you open yourself, like for if it's an internal tool, are you open to doing a little bit manual input yourself for the food you're buying? Assume just like inventory tool that because eventually we won't, like for us a tool that's becoming available to you might not have all the food that you purchased for this particular week, right? So are you open to manually enter some informations into the tool that created for this nutrition calculations?
Am I interested in entering it manually?
Yeah.
Or
not manually in terms of the entire list, but manually entering the item you purchased for that particular item, which is not on the database. So we say the data has apple, right? But you purchase with kiwis, and it's not in database, right? And we don't have access to it. And that particular point, are you open to just put with kiwi into it, put the nutrition content into that database for the calculation?
So I want to make sure I understand. I don't think I fully understand. So we just recently, we never kept inventory, a database of food, because it goes in and it goes right back out. We recently just starting it because we're getting so big and we're hitting 1,000 children. So it is something that would permanently stay in that database with that food. We would add it in to the existing database. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's because entirely the tool is there, right? But
yes,
we won't have all the data. So there might be some of the food that we're missing from the database for this calculation purposes, because we need to calculate number like items that you have matches what's in the database, right? So in case if there's most of chat items that exist, meaning we cannot do any calculations.
Well, like, for example, we have about $7,000 food on site.
Okay.
That's, I know that sounds like a lot of money in food. That's not even a week's worth of food. It's really, yeah, we buy everything in advance. So when I have food, I have protein 3 weeks in advance, but when I'm buying snacks and bread, I'm buying all that the week of. So that is another thing. We are so busy to be sitting. I don't want to make it more work. I know there's going to be more work on the startup, on the initial.
Yeah.
But it would be nice just to have it flow in naturally with our food database, which is currently being made. We're hiring program support soon, so that's going to be their job. Some of this information, I'll be honest, we're not going to be using it right away. We are a little bit understaffed, and as we hire more people, I just can't take on any more work. So when we hire someone new, hopefully in August, this is going to be part of their job.
Yeah, I think so. In to answer your question, I think maybe you are not talking about the front end user interface, right? So, so Cardi or maybe her delegate to actually can enter. So, for example, Cardi currently offer maybe Apple, so they have Apple in your database, right? But the next day you purchase the orange. The orange is not in your database. Are you comfortable to enter using some form or interface like website to enter? Okay, now I have a new item in my inventory, orange, and say,
Okay.
for example, have 10 grams of 10 grams might be too much, maybe 10 milligrams of maybe vitamin C, something like that. Let's just say per each app, each orange, for example. Then the calculator will do the job, right? So the next, maybe say next week, you say, okay, this week I purchased 10 oranges.
Yeah.
Then it will show up, say the nutrition for 10 oranges, something like that, I guess.
Yeah, well, we would probably do, because typically a child gets one thing. So really it's just per item. The data that you'd be interested in, it's just the data on one item.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
maybe in case you discover new foods for a new food item for next week, then it's something new to the database. And then for the initial setup, someone will have to enter the information about that particular food. I think that's fine, right? So I think yeah. And then that also means the students need to make the front end more, I guess, flexible, so that as a management, they can feel free to add or change or maintain the database on their own going forward. To keep
right now we do everything in Excel, and in July we're moving to Google Docs.
Yeah.
So that helps anyone to know that. That's what we're going to keep everything in.
Yeah, I guess they are going to develop something more advanced than Google Doc. Or whatever, yeah, just to showcase what can be accomplished. I guess you guys can decide after.
All the schools.
Yeah.
I was to say all the schools use Google Docs, so that's why we're switching. It'll be easier to communicate with the schools with Google Docs.
I understand like a lot of applications, they might just take inputs from Google Docs, so it's still fine. Like, I mean, input-wise. Oh, so we have more questions. I think maybe Sonny have a question. Maybe I should unmute you. I know. Where's Sonny?
A list of regularly donated items. Yes, I will put that together. Hagen, I think you had, oh gosh, I don't have it with me. You had some information that Jen and I gave you about what goes in each bag, kind of the breakdown.
Yeah, I think I should have that information. I can send. Well, I guess the project managers need to reach out to me, and then I can forward you the documents I have.
Yeah. So regular donated items, we put requests out into the community for what we would like donated. We often post it on our Facebook page and Instagram. So we'll ask for prepackaged oatmeal, instant oatmeal. We ask for cereal. We ask for canned chicken, canned tuna, soups. We'll advertise and say, Costco has this item on sale. If you're heading to Costco, why don't you pick this up? Donate it to us. So that's what we ask for in the community, because we don't want to receive a whole bunch of Kraft macaroni and cheese, because that doesn't fit in the bags, and that's not, we have specific requirements.
Yeah, almost. Well, this kind of project can be further enhanced. That, well, I mean, it's too much, but idea is it's basically a donation management, right? So it's also something you want to show up on your somewhere, so people knows, okay, what have been donated, what are the items that you need the most, right? So they know, okay, so they can maybe subscribe to a post that say, okay, I'm committed to donate maybe 10 cans of maybe pineapple, for example, right? Then others, the live system will actually show up, okay, the 10 can has been maybe committed by someone, so now we only need maybe maybe 20 more or something like that. So it's kind of more efficient in terms of they coordinate the efforts. And I think Sunny has a question. I'm not sure if we'll skip that one, but it's basically she's asking, so we need to calculate and analyze the nutrients contained in the 4 menus, and then making sure it's in the proteins produced, low sodiums, and then find some substitute items for the food bags under the budget, like $10.
Yeah.
15, you find 11.50 per bag.
Yeah.
I think that's where the recommendation comes to play. Well, you need to do a calculation and the recommendation, right? And then you want to pull some information from, I guess, the Health Canada's suggestion, like, because they tell what kind of nutrition is required for kids at a certain age, right?
Yes.
So I guess that's something that you need to put into a constraint, and then through some of your algorithm that will put up, kind of make a recommendation somehow. Let's see what be the magic, but okay. Yeah, and then to Nathan's questions, this will be, the recording will be available, on our YouTube channel. So okay. Any more questions? I think we really have a great conversation, Patty. What do you think? Hopefully,
Yes,
hopefully.
I hope I was clear enough. I'm a lot older than all of you, so my tech isn't up to snuff.
No worries, no worries. I think definitely want to have something working, working for your organizations and helping the kids as well. Okay, and then so without any more questions, I think that concludes our kickoff meetings. And then the students, feel free to ask me or ask Kelly any questions.
Yeah, please email me if you have any questions. Not a problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelly, and then have a good evening.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you, everyone.
Looking forward to your videos. Bye-bye.
Bye.